If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you.
But if Kamala is for you, why isn't she fixing the problems you're stuck with right now? Joining us right now is Steve Moore, creator and editor of the Unleash Prosperity's Hotline and host of More Money on WABC Radio, and Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington, chair of the House Budget Committee. Gentlemen, great to have you here. Congressman, once again, Democrats, in this case AOC, seem to be making Trump's case that we need a change from what we've had for 4 years.
Yeah, and who better to do that than the chief economic arsonist with her accomplice, Joe Biden, who has set the whole nation ablaze with inflation, which is the most regressive tax on these working people that she's somehow trying to protect with the recommendation of Kamala Harris. First of all, this is a card-carrying socialist, right? And so asking a socialist about economic advice is like asking a vegan how they like their steak cooked. The fact that she's even offering the advice, and if you should take the advice, it probably will end badly.
Yeah, well, you know, Steve, I had a policy when I worked for the Journal. I don't use labels. I just look at what people do, and I describe what they do. And what she has done and what Biden has done, and whoever's guiding Biden in economic policy or Kamala, it hasn't worked. The numbers are staggering. We just got something, by the way, from the University of California in Berkeley. They are not known as right-wingers in Berkeley, that the lost household wealth of middle-class families has accumulated to $34,000 since 2022. We also have savings, which have shrunk dramatically from 8.2% in February 2022 to 3.4%. Less than half of what it was. I mean, we are in serious trouble right now, or at least the middle class is.
Yeah, you know those signs when you go into a store and it says if you break it, you own it, or you bought it?
Right.
You know, I feel like this is sort of the situation now. They broke the economy. It was really recovering at a very nice pace when Trump left office in the last 6 months of his administration. And it's really hard to really point to just about anything that's going right. You know, there's probably, if you look about the 22 or 24 major measures of how the economy is doing, whether it's small business, real incomes, interest rates, inflation, on and on. The things that the chairman works on, which is the debt and the deficit, which are through the roof. It's really scary, I think, to think, what if we do 4 more years of this? I think it could be catastrophic for the country, especially on those issues like spending. So that's really the question. Now, look, the economy has improved over the last couple of years. And the big question, are people going to kind of be thinking, well, things are getting a little bit better, so we're gonna stick with the status quo. But when you have 2/3 of Americans saying they still think the American country is in the wrong track, that's a pretty bad number.
Right. And Congressman, most Americans do feel it. They look at the numbers. You know, maybe it disappears pretty quickly in when they have to deal with what they're actually dealing with day by day. There was a panel, by the way, that NBC, of all places, had in which they had one woman who focused on the problems that are facing her and her fears for the people that she knows. I want to play that and get your reaction. Roll it.
If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't.
Congressman, that's not a politician. That's not an economist. That's a real person suffering under what is happening in our real economy. Those sort of statements really hit home.
Yeah, let's talk about the real wages of these working people, our fellow Americans who are struggling with the pain that lady expressed, has gone down 4%. They've lost over $1,000 a month. And the prices to pay rent, the prices to keep their apartment or home air conditioned, the prices of food and gas have all gone up. All the basket of goods and services they use have gone up by 20%. Mortgage prices have basically, mortgage rates have doubled. So they've put home ownership out of reach. That's why we have the highest on record credit card debt at over $1 trillion. They're paying an APR on average of 20%. Consumer household debt is up at an all-time $18 trillion high. This is a beatdown on working Americans.
Absolutely.
And the cause and effect should be clear. Too much spending, too much taxing, too much regulation. Basically, all the things that Kamala Harris not only contributed to over the last 3 or 4 years, but what she's proposing to double down on in the future as a solution.
Well,
to these
speaking of
problems.
which, Steve, she just mentioned yesterday, it was breaking news. We didn't have time to get to it yesterday, but she just announced her new corporate tax rate, a 33% increase from 21%, thanks to the Trump tax code, to 28%. Won't corporations just pass that right on to the consumer, which means a lot more inflation?
Yeah, it'll be inflationary, but the main fact will be you'll get less business activity here in the United States, and it'll go to other countries with lower rates. You know, David, you and I have been in this business a long time, probably 40 years or so, and really there was a consensus among Republicans and even most Democrats that, you know, a good tax system was to lower the rates and broaden the base, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that was kind of the consensus, and it worked. It worked through Reagan and Clinton. And now, look what Kamala Harris is doing. I was looking through her tax plan. She's got all these tax incentives. This group is going to get tax breaks and that, you know, more loopholes in the tax code. And then how is she going to pay for it? Oh, just the top people, the top 2%, we're going to raise their tax rates. That's the absolute opposite of a good tax system. And she's learned nothing over the last 40 years. It's really very discouraging to me as a supply sider when we've seen our policies work, and yet they want to do exactly the opposite.
Steve Moore, Congressman Jodey Arrington.